Welcome to St John's Toorak and to this short video presentation on its fine historical pipe organ. My name is Christopher Cook, and as Director of Music at St John's Toorak, I'm delighted to take the opportunity to provide an update on some work being done on this amazing historical instrument. The current Hill and Son instrument in St John's Toorak is the fourth organ in this building, and the last of 39 instruments to arrive in Australia from the famous Hill and Son Company. Job number 2432 has an illustrious pedigree, with consultant Dr. William George Price, Melbourne City organist, also being the organist at St John's. The organ was gifted by the Conabeer family in memory of their father George Conabeer, a Devon-born draper and Mayor of St Kilda who died in 1911. The family spared no expense in its design and delivery. To quote from John Maidment's entry in the Organ Historical Trust of Australia's records, "A purpose-built chamber was built onto the north side of the chancel for the reception of the Hill instrument. It is exceptionally spacious, the floor being lower than the main church floor, while there is a sloping ceiling to deflect the sound into the building. The organ is also spaciously laid out with large slider soundboards for the grate and swell manuals, divided by central passage boards and ample room for maintenance access. The organ was conceived on the grand scale with an immensely heavy building frame, huge wind reservoirs and massive swell boxes. In the middle decades of last century, there was a worldwide interest in recreating the sound world of the Baroque and classical organ. And here, as in many instances, valuable instruments were rebuilt in order to play, maybe more authentically, Bach and his contemporaries. Needless to say, a Queen Anne cottage is not improved by adding a lean-to. The concept was often flawed by basing the new sounds on recorded material rather than on first-hand experience of these magnificent historical instruments and the way in which they were built. But I digress. The Hill organ was restored to its original conception just over 20 years ago. This was an enormous undertaking for which we owe a huge debt of gratitude to the vision of so many professionals, craftspeople, parishioners and donors, personal and corporate. The reopening recital was given by the late John Scott, then Director of Music at St Paul's Cathedral, London, on Friday, 2nd of February 1996. I was there early that night to get a good seat, and just as well too. Many organ parts were recreated, while others, not needing replacement, were left in place. Some of these are now requiring restoration or major maintenance work. First off the rank in the current work involves replacement of the electronic components installed in the restoration to enable control of the stops. This system has performed faultlessly until about 2 years ago, and large parts are no longer programmable. Turning on the organ sometimes activates all the stops to come out. The upgraded system, largely the same as that installed in King's College Chapel in 2016, will provide worldwide player acceptance and predictable longevity. Rats obtained access to the organ chamber and have eaten through some of the leather work. Their activities have been curtailed, but their legacy indeed lives on. Of more minor and routine work, the keyboard bushings need replacement over time, and a broken key covering needs attention, as does the leather buttons of the stop action. Outside of the current quoted work, there are other facets of the instrument which have never been completed, in particular the tuba stop and a cello rank on the pedal organ. It would be wonderful to be able to complete the instrument as planned at some stage in the near future, and as you may have guessed, there is plenty of space for them inside. With the proximity of a major Melbourne road, various building works and general dust accumulation, the instrument also requires a total clean. Before anyone offers to vacuum, this job involves removing and storing all the pipes, the careful cleaning of pipes and mechanism, the careful return of the pipes to their correct placement, and a tuning of the entire instrument, over 2,000 pipes. I trust that this gives you some insight into the scope of the present work, the complexity of the instrument, and our need to act promptly. We often think that the organ ends at the console and glorious front case, but the view inside gives some clue as to the amount of careful, detailed, and individualized work involved. I think the in word is bespoke. Details of how to assist this project and in general to supplement the GIVE funds are found at the end of this presentation, and I commend this less personable section to your attention. The adjustment in focus of the fund established by Mrs. Gibb, from the encouragement of a young soloist with the stipulation to perform a solo annually, to more recently including the support of a robust choral group and broader musical ambitions, reflects the changing perceptions and needs of the Church, and of course its interaction with society. St John's Toorak has hosted many important state functions and often stands in, as it were, for the Metropolitan Cathedral. Countless wedding and funeral ceremonies have been accompanied by the organ's pervasive tone, and it provides strong leadership in weekly liturgies, as well as accompanying celebrity recital performances and tuition for a new generation of musicians. If you can assist us to maintain this wonderful asset, ours and the wider communities, for the benefit of future generations, I encourage you to contact myself or the parish office.